Welcome back to Design Bundle's YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Crystal. Today we're going to do a little versus video. So we're going to do adhesive vinyl versus sublimation. So we're going to do for a coffee mug, because the question I see all of the time is, which way, whether we use adhesive vinyl or sublimation. So I want to show you the exact same design, but do it two different ways. And then I want to talk about the pros and cons and things like that. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Let's go ahead and start off with our sublimation. So sublimation is going to be super duper easy because you're simply printing it. So like for example, this design right here, I downloaded it straight from Design Bundles and I actually dragged and dropped it right into my smart folder for my Sawgrass printer, sized it out inside of the print manager and printed it out. So use the sublimation printer, printed it out, it's ink on a paper and I don't have to weed anything or anything like that. I'm going to need a mug press of some sort. As you guys heard the beep, it's ready to go. And then of course our mug. So we're going to need mug and then heat tape. So those are the things you're going to need: printer, mug press, mug, and then your paper. So the price is going up a little bit. You got the price of the printer, depending on the brand that you use, whether you're Sawgrass or Epson and things like that. Then you're going to have the price of your mug press. So you're going to have those two combined, printer, mug press. So, there's that. But it is going to be super duper easy, okay? So number one, it's going to be so easy, no weeding, printing it out, boom. And I also made both of these the same size, by the way. And then you're going to need your mugs, of course. You're going to clean them the exact same way. But the benefits of sublimation versus your adhesive vinyl is this is going to outlast itself. This is going to last wash after wash after wash. This is never ever going to fade. I can wash it in the sink or the dishwasher. So you can do that both with your sublimation. So whenever it comes to adhesive vinyl, I now have to weed this little guy out. But before we actually do that, let me go ahead and pop this mug in here and I'll keep talking because that's going to take 5 minutes. So to prep this up, making a mug, do I hold it in my right hand? I need it on this side. If I have it in my left, I need it on this side. We're going to do it on this side today. You want to clean it with some rubbing alcohol or a very clean cloth. So we've got that there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get me some heat tape. Just like so. Actually, I'm going to make this one side a little bit longer. And then I'm going to pop one of these down here. We're going to take our design and you're just going to simply line it up like this. So easy, guys. Your production time is going to go up, go down tremendously, if you will. You're going to be able to sell these so much faster than you could if it was adhesive vinyl because it's going to be so much faster to make. Production is going to be quick. All right, so we're ready to go. Next thing you need to do, just pop it inside. I was using parchment paper to cover these, but I haven't had any bleed through, so I've just been doing it. So if you've seen my previous videos, I've now just been placing it right inside of the mug press. Pop it down. And you don't even need to set a time. Now, if you were using a standard mug press, you would need to set your time and temp for that. But a Cricut mug press, you simply power it on. It's ready to go. You're going to press it, and it does 5 minutes for you. Each blinking light is a minute. All right, so boom. Sublimation's ready to go. So let's see with our adhesive vinyl. So for the adhesive vinyl is, number one, I have to cut this out with my die cutting machine. So I only need a die cutting machine. I don't need the printer and the mug press. I just need my die cutting machine. All right, so what we have to do, so die cutting machine, it's all we need, obviously, and your material. So you're going to need sublimation paper. We're going to need adhesive vinyl. Adhesive vinyl, if you break down the cost of your papers, it's super cheap. I guess they're pretty similar, if you will. This is probably, say, for a whole sheet, 40 cents, and that's probably around 20 cents or so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start weeding this little guy out. So I've got to weed this, okay? So I'm going to be very careful to make sure I'm not weeding anything out. The problem is too, when we're working with small intricate pieces here, is that sometimes it's really easy to lose pieces. So the problem with sublimation versus adhesive vinyl, a die cutting machine, is you can only go so tiny. You can print pretty tiny as you want it to, and you don't have to worry about it messing up. So that's one thing to consider as well. You can really mess around with sizing. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside, and we're just going to go ahead and keep on weeding our pieces. So the other thing with adhesive vinyl, I'm only going to be able to wash it in my sink. And whenever we talk about hand washing, you don't want to just let it sit and soak in your sink with all your dishes. That water is just going to end up loosening your adhesive vinyl. When we talk about hand washing, we mean delicate It means get it in your sink like this, get it in your water, got your soapy rag, washing it out, and very gently washing around your design, rinse. So it's not just soaking it in that water. So that's one thing to consider as well. I cannot throw this in the dishwash, and over time, these pieces will start to peel off. So this mug is not gonna last a long time. So that's one thing with your selling, you know, your reviews, say for example, I was selling on Etsy and things like that. This mug is not gonna last a whole long time. Now I have had mugs that have adhesive vinyl that, you know, say for example, I've had a wine glass that's had the same Arkansas state on it for the last several years. Now, I don't use it all the time. It's not an everyday mug, but it's still there. Depending on how well you take care of it and you wash it, but definitely you are going to lose pieces over time. And you could lose pieces right away, and you could lose pieces, you know, 6 months or a year down the road. So if sometimes too, these ones, when people purchase them, they're more like decor. They'll put their pins in them and things like that too. So those are some things to consider with your adhesive vinyl. So we've got to weed it out. I've got a few pieces that are left here that wanted to linger, right? I think I've got all of those pieces, just trying to get my last 2 pieces off my fingers here. So now the next thing is we're going to need transfer tape. All right, so we're going to take our transfer tape. So you're also going to need not only adhesive vinyl, you're also going to need transfer tape. So as you guys can see, sublimation mug is going. We're already 3 minutes in. And we are still going here with this. So just like that. Now keep in mind that we would have had, if you're going by time, you have to have the time of, this takes like seconds to print out. This would have taken a little bit longer for your die cutting machine to cut out, something this intricate. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take our little squeegee here, and we are going to pick up all of these pieces here. Now, I am definitely not saying you cannot do this with the adhesive vinyl. We've been doing it for years. You can do it. I wanted to go ahead and talk about the benefits versus, you know, talking about now with sublimation, you're going to invest a whole lot more money. That's another thing to think of too. So here we go. So we're ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and peel this up just like so. And now we're ready. So let me go ahead, and I'm actually going to set this down. I want to make sure that this is clean. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean this with my cloth here, just like so. And I'm actually gonna do this side so we can put them next to each other side by side. Okay, so we're 4 minutes in there with the sublimation. We've got this. Now what I like to do is get these little squeegees. You can lay this right here in the center, and it's going to allow it to hold these. So if you're making mugs or tumblers or anything, invest in these squeegees. The center part is amazing. All right, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our design, we're gonna go down like a taco. So I'm just looking at it, eyeballing. I'm gonna go down like a taco. From one side to the next, fold over one side, push down the next. So just like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my squeegee and really rub this in. So whenever you use this one, the adhesive vinyl, you wanna let it sit for around 72 hours before you do your first wash. This one, you can wash it ASAP. So as soon as you want to, you can throw it in the wash. So that's the difference there. But this one, you're gonna definitely wanna let it sit and cure to allow the adhesive to really bond with the mug. All right, the sublimation's ready. With sublimation, the handle does not get hot, so you can go ahead and carefully pull this out. Be careful because that is 400 degrees. So now we're ready to peel this. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a corner here and peel, just like that. Super easy. So it is very easy, I think, both ways to do it. But once again, you're going to be limited to how small of print you can go with your adhesive vinyl. You're definitely not with sublimation. I'm going to peel this here in a second so you guys can see. So let me do that now. You definitely want to, with sublimation, let it cool down because this mug is 400 degrees. I do not recommend peeling hot. So peel at your own risk. Sublimation versus adhesive vinyl. So you could see that there. You could definitely pull this design off whether you want to work with adhesive vinyl or sublimation. They both look very similar, except you are going to have a mug that's going to last a lifetime, well, until you break the mug. And this one, you are going to lose these pieces over time. So it's just something to think about. You're going to have to invest more money for the sublimation to get started versus, you know, a die cutting machine of some sort. You could cut this even out with a Cricut Joy. So you could get as small as a die cutting machine as you want to for your mugs. But there you guys have it. There's your verses. There's your pros and cons. You guys let me know down below if I've left any of those pros and cons out. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one.